learned from the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it down, we gon' get it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list coming into June 26, 2020, and the bank stocks are going to go crazy. I have the results from the stress test. They came out 30 minutes after market, but a policy shift happened. I didn't see the market react too crazy. You could see Wells Fargo here, JP Morgan, HSBC, but there were some key changes and something happened. So I want to talk about that. I'm going to look at the bank stocks tomorrow. However, we still saw some big news today, at least as far as some companies, but a lot of the similar headlines from yesterday, but the same reaction or a different reaction, than what we saw yesterday with 700 points down. So today was pretty big. The range between up and down was smaller. We just barely went down and then held and then went up. But tomorrow is going to be a fun Friday, at least I hope. So I hope you know it's Bring a Friend to Colt Day. So that's tomorrow. Now, I mean, God bless you. But I got that for you, the keys, the plays, everything else you need to be flying these streets, baby. So let us not delay. You guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's the first link in the description and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It's free $99. It costs you nothing to join. YouTube.com/thestockmarket. You can post the plays, see the plays, watch the watch list, come to life, and you can meet a very diverse group of One Punch Man fans. It's really weird because like different backgrounds. It's weird. You wouldn't really expect it, but I hope to see you there. Post your watch list. I won't waste any more of your time. So right off the bat, my friends, still lagged on me, but the stress test was a success. And what I mean by that is that it looked like the market was waiting for something. We did see a weird reaction with the banks I'm going to show you, but a policy change actually happened. So I'm calling it a success, but I think it's a surprise. We have to see how the market reacts. Again, I'll show you the bank stocks. Again, this is why I'm going to be focusing on them tomorrow, but they didn't react how I expected. Again, we need to give it time to digest, but this was a policy shift. They actually voted. The Federal Reserve voted after conducting these stress tests. They decided to make new changes. So they voted to suspend banks from being able to do buybacks. So that is a new rule now for the banks. And they also said they wanted to cap dividend payments. So understand this is a broad change. They're actually saying banks, they're restricting them from doing stuff based on their capital positions. And then part of it, they came to these conclusions for these changes because they ran different studies in these stress tests. So what they did is they did a traditional stress test based on what was happening in February, so before the pandemic, and then they said, okay, let's do the stress test and what would happen in that sense. And then now they modeled 3 different scenarios for the economy and what they're expecting of how everything could play out, literally V-shape, U-shape, W-shape. And then they made these conclusions. They're going to get a plan from the banks later this year on what they plan to do. But based on this, now they've made some changes coming into, I believe, third quarter. But the biggest one that came here in some of these new rules, all of them really are revolving around this concept that is going to be based on the income that they make. So how much the bank makes will determine their dividend cap. Now, this will lead into the plays. This is why it's important. Again, it's policy, but now you'll see how we're going to apply this to stocks. If the dividend cap is based on your income, this may render some of the banks unable to pay dividends. So if they're not making enough or a problem happens, defaults, whatever it may be, they may be good now or they still may be profitable, but these caps might start to collapse some of the banks. So again, I think this is a change. We have to see the reactions, but watch how this plays out and quarter after quarter as well. But all in all, with these stress tests, there was only one vote against changing some of these rules, and it was Brainerd. She was the only dissented. I think it was like 3-4 or 3-1 or 4-1, but she said she wants to suspend dividends completely. So everybody on the Fed agreed in favor of these changes, meaning that they all agreed that the banks need some sort of cap to uphold these capitalization standards, but she believes that they should be gone completely regardless of income. So that's kind of important, and that kind of even gives you a look into how they're thinking. And again, the Fed, if there's dissenting and not unanimous decision, that is not good. So they were a little bit split, but the only other one was very, very bearish, if anything. So there was that. And then also today, they rolled back parts of the Volker rule. So this lowered some of the Dodd-Frank restrictions on banks, but essentially this will probably assist in bonds and real estate. You guys could look over into this, or maybe I'll talk about it on the weekend, but this helped the banks today. So this is going to kind of interact with some of the bank stocks. It's kind of a weird push and pull between the bank stock news, but that was important. But like I said, same headlines as yesterday. It was the virus stuff. Again, new case numbers, they increased the hospital capacity, but then also there's more store closures, and again, the Volcker rule, but this time the stock market went up. So this is telling us a little bit about how investors are pricing it in, and in context with all this other stuff like the stress test, finance, all that. But based on the stress test results and even kind of what they said, even they said they're going to be monitoring coming into the third quarter for some of these banks and their dividends, but capitalization. But the main thing moving forward is going to be the reaction from these stress tests. I'm going to be making plays around those and looking on how that affects. But any new closures or rollbacks from the virus, anything that could affect the economy, I think that will move the market. But again, we are responding to how the market responds to some of this news, especially when it's confusing like this. But that bank stuff today, I really want to see, because I think it's very surprising. So I think we got something, but I talked about it a lot today with bonds, TLT. I'm still have a longer timeline, if anything. I'd give it till third quarter for the banks to kind of trip out. The stress test even said it. I hope you're ready, but we still might see these bank stocks go crazy, and then we'll see the reaction we get tomorrow. So I hope you are ready, but that is pretty much it. So let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, I made one play. I mean, I flipped the coin in the morning. I think I low-key, I think I violated the coin. I think I was just tired in the morning. It even hit me in the face today. It was wild. But in my mind, I was flipping for if I should play big or not. But I think I said to play it or not. So, I mean, I think I deserved it, but we made that play. I talked about it. Got clapped. Myrna did the exact opposite. So we saw the biotech stocks. They did the rotation. They did the dance, but this time Myrna got clapped. They had some level of news on it, I think, with them and the NIH, but then INO and NVAX, some of them just kept going, and INO, that thing kept killing it. We're going to talk about that, but at the same time, I still believe in it. I think it needs more timing, so I'm going to be riding that play out, but the play we got on it, it was, I only grabbed two. I spent $160. I grabbed 105 calls for 80 cents in July. Those were the first two plays I made, and then the other plays I'm going to be watching tomorrow now. I have three different sets. So first, this Spotify, and then the Frogger list. I sold out of that final Spotify that expired tomorrow. It was the 260. I sold it for 670. I think I sold the other one at 650. Pretty much got the same amount. They're up after hours. I would have made another like $700 or something, but it expired tomorrow, so I wanted to get rid of it. There's that play right there. Again, there's the Myrna also, but I'm going to be watching for Spotify tomorrow to continue. And like I said, that whole Frogger list that we talked about last Friday, any of these growth companies and these companies that have been going crazy, but Spotify is one of them. These are great for Froggy Fridays, but again, even Shopify as well. Beyond Meat. Beyond was down today. And then they even dropped off of a rumor that their deal with McDonald's was over, and then it came out that wasn't true, but they got clapped a little bit, but we'll see. But I'm going to be watching those mainly tomorrow, and then finally the dividend cut hunt. This is going to be the main play. This is going to be something I could justify some plays on simply because now we have news. So I have some of those other plays I scaled in on, and this is the reaction I'm talking about. You could already see it. There was positive Volcker news today. There was positive news in general. Again, the banks have kind of been doing a little bit decent, not what they were. There's JP Morgan. I guess it's been a slower fall for them, but some have been doing worse than others. We'll see how this supports them, but at the end of the day, the news that just came out, it's a ticking time bomb. So I'm going to be looking for some of these companies that will get clapped or are going to get faced with caps that could change the intrinsic value of the company if they get the dividend capped, or even then they can't pay the dividends, or now how would the buybacks affect them and what they're doing, or even how shareholders feel about that. So I'm going to be looking at all the bank stocks. Those are going to be plays I will set up tomorrow. I hope. I mean, I may not get them if it's too crazy, but I'm going to want to. So we will see, but there's that. And then finally, like we've been talking about, TLT. Well, this isn't finally because I still got more plays, but TLT, we went over this. If you didn't check out today's live stream, if somebody wants to tag them on the live stream, comment when we talk about it. But we went over this a lot. I tried to explain it even yesterday in the watch list, but the divergence between bonds and the market and really how to use TLT here. It's going to be important. It's holding this level for a reason, but I think it is going to pump fake us. So, but watch them. Don't get too jumpy. And then finally, we're in these plays. I think, again, I still believe in the Myrna, but I'm going to be watching all of them. INO is going crazy. I'm still holding those 200 shares. Again, we explained even some of that logic on there today, but I'm also going to be watching some of these. We had those shares. Remember, we played them, but watch Sanofi. I talked about AstraZeneca. They had some stuff. Again, Guild is in there, but NVS, and this is why I'm bringing this up, because we had that old play. It was a bigger play. That play was clapped, but it came back. The spreads are wide, but premium on this. And again, all these virus stocks, they're making moves. So understand the last few days have been a little bit weird. You could kind of see it, but some of them have only gone straight up regardless. So these are the ones I like. CODX, we have shares in that, about 100. NVX, I don't have shares. Myrna, I have the options I made today. I know we got the 200 shares, but do I think it's too late to get into this? I bought it at $7. So again, this is what I said yesterday. You're digging in a pool full of dirt because a lot of companies are shady when it comes to this and the hype, and then Biotech, and they could move a lot, but then some were really cheap and now they're really expensive. If you didn't like it at $7, why do you like it at 70? You know, it's stuff like that. That's why, but I mean, it's confusing, but there's hype. So again, think trading and how to play them, think pricing and all that, but watch them. I like all of these. And then finally, I think that's pretty much it. Actually, we said TLT. That's all I'm watching. I'm still in those UUP plays. It relates to TLT and everything else. It has time though. So I'm still holding that. It's at the exact same price. So we're good with that, but I hope you're ready. I hope you bring a friend and Colt tomorrow, but that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need you to build out for the future. Don't build for now. Build what you're going to grow into. If you don't believe you're going to grow into the long, you want to do it. Oh, you don't feel me, baby, but it's going to be exciting. I hope I see you in the morning. The Colt loves you. I love you, and we'll see you in the morning. Let's go.